welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and after my initial hot take that the Avengers Doomsday mystery photo released by the directors was a clue that Wolverine would join the cast of the film, let's break down a sillier alternate theory that's going around that looming in the foreground is actually the silhouette of Galactus. This theory is a response many of you sent me after our video, and I have to admit, it's no less legit than my Wolverine snaked claws theory. So in this video, I am going to explain how Galactus could even be possible for Avengers Doomsday and what that would really look like after we've seen Fantastic Four First Steps. By the way, the shirt I'm wearing is literally the same Delmar's Deli shirt that Tom Holland was seen wearing on set of Spider-Man Brand New Day, honoring Peter Parker's favorite Queens area deli with the best bodega cat. And you can get this exclusively at our merch store, nerdriot.shop. Okay, when the Russo Brothers first posted this look hard photo on September 30th, showing co-director Joe Russo sitting alone on the set with a bunch of flats and set rigging arranged in a specific way, I broke down the context of this image as a callback to their September 2018 photo ahead of Avengers Endgame that showed something similar that many of us back then used to derive the forthcoming announcement of the title of the film as Avengers Endgame. But now in this instance, since we already know the title of the fifth movie is Doomsday, I wondered if it shouldn't be letters that we're really looking for, but rather other things. And my first thought was to look at the stage light in the middle of the image and where it was pointed, coming to these three vertical beams that I said could be interpreted as Wolverine's claws, arguing that Hugh Jackman as Wolverine was one actor and character currently unconfirmed for the movie, but seems to be a character that it would be hard to do this movie without, considering he is the anchor being of one of the three universes colliding in this three-way incursion. But for many of you, that was too stupid of a take, and you would have preferred if we herald in the purple crayoned over the shadow in the foreground to trace Galactus, like this. To be clear, the eye and the eyebrow drawn by whoever first drew this was not traced on top of anything. They just added the angry eye to contribute to the pareidolia so that this would be unmistakably Galactus. I should also note that whoever rendered this darkened the region in the lower left corner beneath the shadow created by the tilted flat and whatever it's leaning on to make the lower left corner completely black instead of the actual shade it is, which is more of just like a separate shade of gray in the original photo. I know it's easy to be on Instagram and knee-jerk react to the purple tracing of anything over an image, but if you actually do take the time to go back and look at the original photo and try to trace Galactus yourself, you will find that it's actually a lot harder to do it. Also, if you look at any image of Galactus from Fantastic Four First Steps, you can see that Galactus's antlers are not shaped like that at the top. Sure, I guess if the Russo brothers were trying to put the shape of Galactus somewhere in this photo, you could forgive them for just arranging things in a way to make something close to his bent antler that wasn't exact, but I also don't think this is that close to it. But here's the thing, the reason I'm making this video isn't to debunk that this photo is showing us Galactus, because yeah, my theory that is trying to hint at Wolverine is really just as far-fetched. Really, I just want to get ahead of this and say, while I don't know if this photo says Galactus in any way, Galactus could still be in Avengers Doomsday, and I do think that I owe all of you an explanation of how that could be possible. So Galactus is still very much alive in the MCU, and he is bound to come back at some point. And since he's now largely a digital artifact Marvel's artists built on the performance of Ralph Ineson, the studio could even feature the character in the background of future events without needing the actor to do it. Now, to be clear, Marvel definitely should bring back Ralph Ineson, or at least pay him something, hopefully some kind of contracted bonus for using his likeness of the character, especially if it did include his face. Like, definitely pay the actor something, Marvel. I bring this up because actress Carrie Coon, who played Proxima Midnight in Avengers Infinity War, she did not return in Endgame over disagreements over fair pay, but Marvel still brought back the character in the movie as a digital artifact to the background. I don't know if Carrie Coon was paid for that, or if so, how much, but yes, hopefully she did. Years ago, I got this unexpected payment for a job I had finished a long time ago. For me, someone who's naturally anxious about money, that felt like a safety net. My first thought was, great, this will help if things get tight later on. But then a friend of mine who isn't nearly as anxious about money told me, you should splurge, buy yourself a new PlayStation. So I did. And the second that money was gone, the regret set in. I couldn't stop thinking about how I should have saved it. Instead of feeling relieved, I ended up more stressed than before, losing sleep, worrying about bills, and kicking myself for making that choice. That advice worked for him, but it created more anxiety for me. And that's the thing, anyone can give you advice, but that doesn't mean it's the right advice for you. That's why I'm glad BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video, and they are on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Unlike friends or strangers who mean well, well but don't fully understand your situation, therapy gives you a safe space with someone trained to help you work through what you're going through. I know firsthand how much the right fit matters. I once worked with a therapist who just wasn't right for me. Their approach left me feeling unheard and stuck, but later when I found the right therapist, everything changed, and it created an environment where I could work through my problems honestly without self-censoring. I could finally open up honestly and start making progress. That's why BetterHelp created the therapist match commitment to take the guesswork out of finding the right therapist. Instead of leaving you to figure it out alone, BetterHelp uses over a decade of matching expertise, clinical experience, and your preferences to match you with someone who makes sense for you. And if it's not working out, you can switch anytime at no extra cost. Therapy has made such a difference in my life, and it can do the same for you. So if you've ever felt stuck with advice that didn't help, BetterHelp makes it easier to find the right kind of support. You can get started today by clicking on the link in the description or by visiting betterhelp.com/newrockstars, and you will get 10% off your first month of therapy. Anyway, all of this is a way of saying Marvel has a lot of options in bringing the character of Galactus back, either in the form of his shadow or a silhouette, without the same amount of production required that Matt Shakman and Ralph Ineson did on the set of Fantastic Four First Steps. But in First Steps, Galactus was not killed by the end of that movie. He was just transported through a portal created by Reed Richards' bridge device to somewhere else. This came out of Reed's original plan to teleport the Earth.
We are going to move Earth to a place that Galactus will never find us.
We will create teleportation bridges spanning the globe. They will be synchronized and interconnected, capable of transporting our planet to a new solar system within a 2% margin of the inhabitable zone. But, more importantly, away from Galactus, where he won't be able to find us for millions of years.
But then later, when that plan had to change after the Silver Surfer wrecked most of those bridges, Reed then proposed to use their remaining bridge to relocate Galactus alone.
And where do we send him?
To the far edges of the universe. Without a ship, he'll be stranded.
In this video that I made after the movie came out, I speculated that Reed sent Galactus to the same solar system where he was planning to send Earth. In a comic run by Dan Slott in 2019, the fateful mission that the Fantastic Four originally went on was to use the faster-than-light rocket, the Marvel 1, to visit an Earth-like planet named Spire in a solar system 44 light years away. That planet was in a binary solar system of 2 stars, Core and Kalo. But we should also note that since Galactus is as old as the universe itself, he was there at the moment of the Big Bang, and therefore everything in this universe, including all the stars and all the matter that would become the galaxies and solar systems that we now have, all of it was there in a condenser form that Galactus had become familiar with 14 billion years ago. So wherever he was sent now, it would be like a street corner that he would vaguely remember, just in a more remote and spread out form. So just punting Galactus to any corner of his home turf that he has known for billions of years isn't close to enough to keep him away, unless the Fantastic Four actually sent Galactus unknowingly to another reality instead of just a corner of their own 828 universe. So here's how this could connect to Avengers Doomsday. There are really 3 things that come up in Fantastic Four First Steps that hint that Galactus could have been sent to another reality within the multiverse. First, there was Reed Richards' lecture to the kids in the opening minutes of the movie where he talks about multiverse theory.
This equation not only confirms alternate dimensions, but it suggests parallel Earths exist on different dimensional planes.
Then there was Reed's wording in this line when he talks about how old Galactus is.
I analyzed the samples Herbie took from Galactus' ship. All evidence suggests he predates our universe, our reality.
Our reality, which was just an interesting word choice to suggest that reality itself is something that can be transcended and have multiple duplicates of. And then finally, as Reed was trying to math out his equations to make the bridge work, clearly written on his chalkboard, both when he was working on the equations alone at night and then when he pitched his plans to the people of Earth over TV, you could see that he postulated in writing beside his diagram of the bridge wormhole another universe, which tells us that Reed was never 100% sure whether he was teleporting Galactus to a distant region of space within this 828 universe or to a completely different universe. And I have to imagine that Marvel included details like these for a reason. We know Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be an important setup for the plot of Doomsday, not just for Dr. Doom's appearance in the post-credit scene with Franklin Richards. If the film of Doomsday is all about incursions, we're gonna need to know what in the 828 universe caused any incursions from their end. Like in the 616 universe and in the 1005 universe, plenty of things caused them. The snap snap and the reversal of the snap, what Peter Parker and Doctor Strange did in No Way Home, what Dar-Ben did in the Marvels, which also opened a door to the Fox X-Men universe. So there was an incursion on that side, and even that universe definitely had some reality tampering shenanigans in Deadpool and Wolverine. So when we're looking at the 828 universe, the only tampering that anyone ever did with the fabric of reality on that side was Reed's bridge device, opening this wormhole that Galactus just got pushed through. And if Doomsday is going to identify that event as the cause of these incursions, it logically follows that Galactus could actually be in another reality right now. He could be in the 616 universe, somewhere in space, a universe that he does not belong in. And in fact, there could actually be another Galactus somewhere in the cosmos of that reality. So really all of this could tell us why Dr. Doom wants Franklin Richards, because according to Galactus, Franklin Richards is the heir to Galactus's power cosmic.
He possesses the power cosmic, and he will inherit this cursed throne.
It's not true. He's normal. We would know. I would know. I tested the child.
He hides his nature from you.
It's this power, a power to warp and manipulate reality, that baby Franklin used to resurrect his mother Sue after her death. So Franklin's relationship with the power cosmic and how exactly he's linked with Galactus seems like it's gonna have to play some role in the plot of Doomsday. Like, we still have a lot of answers we need from that. I think one way this could go is we could get those answers in the opening sequence of the film. Like, Dr. Doom could kill Galactus, either the stranded one from Fantastic Four First Steps or one from another universe, in the hopes of attaining the power cosmic for himself, at which point he could discover that that power transferred to another, the son of Franklin Richards and Susan Storm. So is this what the Russo brothers are telling us with this look hard photo? Probably not, but could it happen in Doomsday? Maybe. Now, you may have seen a rumor that the first teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday will come in December in front of screenings of Avatar: Fire and Ash. In tomorrow's episode of the Rumor Rundown, Jessica and I break down that rumor, explore the history of movie trailer release timelines, and speculate on what could be in that trailer. So be sure to watch tomorrow's episode. Comment down below with your thoughts on this, and a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Frederick Price, for supporting us at the executive producer level. If you do support us on that level or on the rewatcher tier, you have access to early ad-free versions of all of our Predator rewatch series breakdowns. Follow me at EA Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.